morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. For the viewers and on the subscription list, please make sure you check the first part of this video on YouTube. Like it, share it, make your comments. And this is the second part. Let's start. We're going to start with Bitcoin. For my YouTube viewers, if you like what we do, please share it so more people can see it. We're in Bitcoin. Bitcoin is making a new high. Let's see where we are. We're still in a sideways move, right? I don't see this as the start of the upside by itself because you've got this move up. You've got to move here. You've got to move here. And then this starts to do this, right? So just breaking the top doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're making a bigger consolidation. Could this be the start of the move? That would be weird. Well, not weird, I shouldn't say. It will be strange. It's not the common patterns we see, right? So what you're looking for is whether this is going to come back. There's a high probability this comes back here. But when it comes back here, it depends on the depth with which it's come. We'll decide whether it's this one or whether it's this one, right? There's a good chance it's going to go back up because we still have this. And it might turn out that this becomes a bigger consolidation here. And that will just keep pushing it up and up a little before eventually it comes back. Let's look at the bigger picture in the daily. So the daily structure, actually starting from this point to go up is pretty okay with the daily structure. I just don't like the way this is starting. That's not how the impulses start, right? If you want to see on the daily what the impulse start would look like, let's look at this one, right? So you can take any one of this. I'm going to stretch it so you can see these impulses. You make a sharp move, you make a consolidation, you make a sharp move, you don't see a big consolidation here before they go. Even this move, you go here, you make a small one, you go, you make a small one, you go, you make a small one. Here is where you get a big consolidation after a pretty sizable move up straight. Right now, if you look back at this, if this was the low, you don't find this coming back. The first impulse coming back deep to the low. See this first impulse? That is what it did. See this first impulse? This is what it did. It didn't come back all the way to the low here, right? So this one coming back to the low is telling us that this could end up being a correction here and then drop one more and then go. See, that's the start. That's what you're expecting. That's the way it should start. Now, if there's a rare pattern that I'm missing, or if this turns out to be a bigger running flat that goes up, let's leave this alone and let's put it like this. Let's assume we end up with a bigger running flat in here. This drops back like this, go back up there, come back here, and we get this as a running flat. Now, the start of this could actually be the start of the bigger move to the upside. With a big flat at the bottom here, this is your first impulse. So every buy setup you get when they come back to the low here and you get a buy setup, you can take that trade. You get a buy setup here, you can take that trade. This sells to the downside. Well, it might be worth taking, but not this one will not be the one that totally drops. But yes, you can take the sells too, right? Because there's a good chance we have to come back. Now, let me take this out. There's a good chance this piece eventually comes back down because there's a lot of sharp waves to go for. There's this sharp wave. We don't know whether that is over. There's this sharp wave. There's this sharp wave. So at least 3 down moves we think is possible, right? This is the up one and this is the up one. I don't think we'll go with any contracting flat here. I really don't see any contracting flat in there. So, but let's assume there's a contracting flat in here somewhere. We still have this one to go. So if you get a sell set up here and it comes, that should work, right? The sell set up to come back to this. If it becomes small like this, don't worry. You'll still get out for positive, right? So any sell set up at the top there is a good idea. I think you do have one, right? We do have a sell set up here in the 1 hour. So that's a good trade. Worst case is you're going to go for a break even. Right, the worst case is they just come here and go back up. Well, you're going to get break even out of that trade. Good cases, they come all the way down here before you go back up and then you get. So there's going to be a lot of up and down movement. You can trade it both ways. Now, that is for my traders. For YouTube viewers, if you do have the skill level, you have strategy and you know how to manage trade, which means you have a trade management. If you take a trade and it's not going your way, you just don't leave it to either go to your stop or to your target. You said this trade has changed structurally. I need to manage it and get the hell out of it. The trades that go will eventually go to your target without you doing anything. Here is a good example when we took this one, right? It's stretched up there. You see this, you can close that trade. That's a profitable trade. When we took this trade, it gets to the top. You can close the trade here. That's a profitable trade. It takes care of itself. If the trade is not going when you take a trade like this, it's not going, it's coming back here and doing this, you need to get out of the trade. So trade management is the most important thing you might learn in your trading career. If you can manage your trades well, even if you take a bad trade, which means bad, maybe you enter the wrong time, you didn't see the pattern correctly, you probably an impulse, click buy or click sell, you can manage your way out for positive or break even. And that's why trade management is so important. So we're still in consolidation. I don't see the up move starting yet. We're more focused on whether that up move is going to start. Short term, you can trade it both ways. Ethereum broke the top. Again, we are at this top here now, right? And we're breaking this top too. Sorry, wrong one, put it here. Yeah, we're breaking that top too. Again, do I see this is all the correction and this is the start of the up move? Nope, it's deep. The only reason I don't see that as the correction is pretty deep as the only correction to go. It's a pretty deep pullback. Sometimes you do get deep pullback before they go, but it's not even a flat by itself, just a sharp move. But what you can do is you can take trades above the top. Anytime they consolidate here, you buy for at least one impulse. If it reverses, you get break even. If it continues to go, you're in the trade, right? If this starts to reverse, it's going to come back. Again, you have this one, and you have very similar to Bitcoin. You have these sharp moves here that not taken care of. So if it comes back, it could be for this one. You go back up, you come back down, and then you go up. So this up move could be the one that go, or it could stop short here and come back, make a new low, and then go. Again, which of those two would happen, it doesn't matter. You can trade it both up and down depending on what setup you get. A flag is a buy setup, an impulse and a flag will be the sell setup. All right, I still think these two sharp waves need to fulfill, which means I can see it coming back here, going back up, and then either make a new low or continue to go from there. XRP, this definitely will come down. There's nowhere I see this as the, well, I should say definitely with a higher percentage rate, right? There's a good percentage rate. There's no way you look at this and, think that, and this is the correction, and that's the start of the upside. That's pretty rare. So very likely you're going to get this come back here. This could be a flat, which could take off. So the sell setup is something you're looking for, and then you look for the buy. Can we buy inside of this range? On the 1 hour, let's see. In that range, you'll get both buy and sell. This was a sell. This would have been a break even. If you flip it like this and you go for the buy, yep, you buy to break the top. So remember, we were buying this to break the top, this one here, and this one here to break this top. So we broke the top again. If you get a sell setup, go for it. One of these are going to drop, right? So sell setup might be the one you're looking for right now. Let's put it like this. Sell setup is what you're going to be looking for. If you get a sell setup from the top there, that'd be amazing. So what would be the sell setup? So you drop and make a flag, that's a sell. It drops, it make a flag here, this would be a sell setup. And that one could break out. So keep an eye on that. Okay, this is still going up. This was a good buy here, you could have seen that, but where was this leading us? Let's see in the 4 hour. You see, they all can go back up, but they all have this deep pullback. See this deep pullback to the bottom? When you see that, you're thinking flat, right? When you see them pull back so deep into the last impulse up, right? That's the first impulse up. This pullback so deep, you're thinking they have to come back here, and then that eventually becomes a flat. So I don't really see this taking off to the upside, but above the top, by rule, above the top, any consolidation will buy. So if we do get a consolidation here, we'll buy. We'll take the trade to the upside and see how high it goes. The sell setup, again, just like anyone, just like the previous ones, you get a sell setup, you can go for it. Okay, let's see this one on the daily. This could be the start of the upside. This one has gone pretty far. This is a deep pullback here, but they've got deep pullback that went. So if this one is going to go, wait for a flag. Let's see if we have a 1 hour consolidation. Okay, so what I would do is wait for this to pull back. If this pulls back here, go for this buy. If it pulls back, you can put an entry above the top. So any takeoff from here would be the trade, right? That means you're going to continue to go up because that would be a running flag. Can we look at this as all the correction? Well, we might eventually have to, because I don't think that is even trying to make a running flat. The running flat would have got a big correction in the middle here, which we don't have. And this. Also going up, but very, very slow. See? Now we can make an argument for contracting flat on this piece. So if this starts to come down and give you a flag here, go for the sell. So or it's going to be a running flat, which means this will come back here, make this a running flat, go back up. But if you get a flag here, by the time it comes here, you put it to break even. If it goes back up, you might even get a buy setup here to go with. All right, so you're going to get 1, 2, 3. This will come back down because this is the biggest flat within this move. So it will probably come back down. If it's the start of the upside, you need a flag to buy. You need a flag or a correction to buy. Dash, this would have been a break even. It didn't drop. It's consolidating. So you probably consolidate here some more because this is more of a flag. See this? This kind of 1, 2, 3. So probably wait for it to come back here. It could be in a 1, 2, 3. And then you'll get this flat. That would be upside. This is showing a sign that the consolidation is not over. It's going to go back up. You're still in this big move. Can this actually take off? It could be. You could make an argument for some kind of a deep pullback here. This piece there, this could be a similar one to this and then one more up. I think this could take you to the top. No, this would probably literally take you back to about this level. See this? I think we could get to this level here. So the buy is a good idea and then come back here. Because we don't have anything to go with this and we have a correction here, we have a correction here, we have a correction here, right? So there's a good chance this buy here, if you get it, is going to go to about that top. So there's a buy setup forming there on the 1 hour. It's just not ready. It's consolidating. That would be a buy. Link. Also going up, very sharp pullback, not a full correction, but going up. So let's say in the 4 hour, could this be the start of the upside? It could be. Literally, it could be from because you're so low in them that could be the one that go up, right? Now that could also be the one that makes a bigger running flat. Come back like something like this. And you can treat all of this as a big running flat. See that? So you get 1, 2, 3 down. You get 1, 2, 3 up. And then you come back for one more. So the upside possible, let's go back to the 1 hour. If they're going up from this point with a deep pullback like this, let's assume you're going up like that, every flag above the top you can buy. Actually have a flag above the top here, which would have been this one. Wait for a flag here, and if you get a flag here, that's a buy setup. If it starts to drop, it's coming back to this level for a running flat, right? So if you're gonna sell it short term, if you're gonna buy it, could just continue to go. Wait for the flag. Dot. Okay, this one took off. Again, they're all within this low level. This could be the start. You still need a running flat. If this is the start of the upside, we don't have anything for this. So if you bought this, you got to be careful. If they make another flag you buy, be careful because at some point they're going to do this. You'll get a running flat, and that could be an upside move. And that would confirm the upside move. So as soon as you get the running flat, you can confirm that that is going to go. But can you buy this piece going up? Well, if they make a flag, you buy. Because the running flat might be very long drawn out. Can this go back all the way to the top? Let's see. Absolutely. This, you could literally say this running flat here is over. So it's still very early. You can buy it anytime if you get a buy setup. We can make an argument for this. I don't think that's all, but you can make an argument for it. You do have a big correction in the middle here, right? You do have a big correction in the middle there. You have a small correction here too. You have a correction here too. So can this be the start of the upside that goes like this? Sure, why not? Wait for any flag, take it. Assuming that they'll do this too, right? They'll do that at some point. You get a running flat, and then that could be the takeoff. So go back to the 1 hour. Any flag you buy, any pullback like this would become the buy setup too. We'll assume that this is the low. So it's either they're going to give you a pullback now, they're going to make a flag and you buy, or they're going to pull back like this, and then we'll put a running flat, and you start buying it from the low going up. Any turn here with a flag would be the buy setup. This one is too corrective. This is definitely not the start of the upside because you can't start from the middle here. I don't see this taking off from this point. Yeah, that doesn't look like the takeoff. So if you're going to buy, don't buy this one. There are enough of them that have good setups to buy. look for the sell in this one to come back here. Right? If all starts to drop, this would be a better sell setup to back to the bottom before they go back there, right? So the sell setup here is better. Let's see this one. This one too, you'll probably be looking for the sell setup. It can go a little higher, but because we broke the top, I'll probably be careful of the buys because there is a buy setup here, but I'll be careful of that because it might just break the top again, but there's a good chance you just break this top and start coming back to this level. Right, this one you avoid going for the buy because you're the top part of it. There's not much more to go. You want it to come back down. So the sell in this would be a better idea than the buy. So if you get a sell setup, you take it. If you get a buy setup, you skip it. Buy any other thing else. All right, so a sell setup here. Yep, you can put an entry at the bottom here for the sell. You can wait for a flag there to sell it. Let's see what this is doing. Okay, take this off. You're consolidating in this area here. That could be a buy. Should we take a buy in this going up? I think skip it. Don't trade this. If the buy is, wait for this to come back. If this drops back to the bottom here, then the buy from here is a good idea because this would be the flat. And then the buy from here makes sense. So unless it drops, don't buy it. Buy something else. This also, we've got the low, we were at the low, but it didn't give you the best. It's not exactly the low. We didn't break that top. You want it to come back some more. So you literally want this to come back to this level before it goes. Right? That would make more sense. What if it starts going up from there? We're looking at a contracting flat like this. I don't like the idea for contracting flat there. So for me, it's better if it come back to this area around the 210. That would be the setup for the that would be the setup for the buy. So right now, probably stay out of it. This one you can buy. This one literally can start to go up. Let's see. You made it low. You made it low. You can look at this as the correction, and this is a slow move up, an entry order above that top there. If they go, if it drops, if this literally dropped beyond this point here, right, this would be the biggest correction in it. If that drops, then look for a buy setup from here. If it becomes a flat 1, 2, 3, then it will break this top, make a flat, and then make a new low, which will give you a buy setup. But what if it is the start of it? We've seen plenty of them with worse, sharper move like this, just go. So this buy is a good idea. The buy itself is a good idea, especially if you're long-term in this. The buy is a great idea. And this one too. I don't think the buy is ready because it's kind of correcting a lot. You had this, it's at the bottom. It's a place from where it can go up. We assume that it will go up from here. I don't see the great start. Right, this was going really slow. So let's look back at it and see. You had this move here. You have that. Can we look at this as a running flat? Possibly. If this is going, this is a running flat. Or this is a smaller version one more pullback. Let it pull back like this and put an entry there. Right, if it's going to make a spike, it will do this. This would be the bigger running flat. If it consolidates here, if they make a small flag here, and you take the trade, you have to be cautioned that it could tag you and come back. So put it to break even. This is a buy. The last three are very good buy setups because they're very low and they're turning. If this is a slow move up, which we've seen some of them done, this one is pretty good. You could make an assumption that's a running flat and this continue to go. So flags you buy, pull back you buy. It's still a buy. And this, we're in the middle of this piece. Let's see if this could be all for the start of the upside. Yeah, this upside could start anytime, literally anytime. So you've got all the divergence here. You're making this move down, but that doesn't mean it will start now, right? You've had a similar move previously. Take this one, for example. One move up, a deep pullback, they go to the top and they drop. One move up, a deep pullback, they go to the top, they drop. One move up, a deep pullback. Now the question is whether this will drop. Make a new low and then go. So above the top, if it consolidates, you buy. Right? So this, I'm on the daily. Let me put that in 1 hour to see, right? So above the top, any consolidation, you buy. Because if that is the start, let me put it like this. Right? Let's make an assumption that this was just a deep pullback. That's all you get. And this is going now. Right? You could have bought this, or this back to about this level. Now, if this makes any flag here, buy. If it pulls back here, you can put an entry. So in case if it takes off, you're in the trade. We'll find a running flat there. I think you'll find a running flat here. So any pullback or consolidation in these last three is a buy setup. From where they are, we're anticipating. We just didn't get, actually, we started buying this, I think. We already started buying this from this point here, right? But then the deep pullback is what got us out of the trade. And I was expecting more of a flat here because they come back so deep, kind of do this, come here, right? Probably can go back up and then drop one more before they go. Something like this. See this flat here? Kind of 1, 2, 3. The depth of this pullback always wants you to do a possible flat. But now that you're above the top, any consolidation, if it's going to drop, probably just ignore it and let it drop. They're better sell setups. Let it drop, and then we'll see whether it makes a flat here. If it turns out the flat, we can buy again. Buy back to the top, and then wait to see whether it makes a new low or whether it goes. All of those are possible, right? Sometimes you think this is the low, and they go make a new low, right? We assume that's a low, and this thing just dropped. Come back here, go back there, make a new low, and then go. So we'll buy above here if we get flagged, but if they're gonna, come down, you would leave it to come down, wait, buy back to the top, and then see if you get a new low. Go back to the 1 hour. And wait, because you don't have a flag at the top there. And it's not really dropping as yet either. But if it pulls back, just put the entry. If it pulls back like this, put an entry here. We'll go with a running flat. If you're wrong about the running flat, it will start to make a flag here. And by then, you take this off and we go with a sell. So whichever comes first. So for YouTube viewers, you might be a little confused with that there, but my traders, I think, pretty much got everything I said, because what I'm not telling you, which is what they're seeing, is what pattern I'm looking for. And they probably visualize the pattern I'm looking for already. Now, if you're following me for a long time, you probably did the same thing. You visualize that pattern and you see what I'm showing, right? If you haven't, just keep watching the videos or join us and you will learn to do that. Let's go. I have to do some of these. Let's do these. Let's see. We're in the copper. Yep. Don't do anything as yet, because this could be a running flat or expanding flat. But if you get a flag here, assume they're going to come retest that low. Okay, so you're coming down now. And this is where you have to decide whether you'll get a buy setup or a sell setup, right? So you really don't have any setup. I'll probably be looking at this as a possibility that this could still go back up one more. This is the sharp move, and this is the correction part. The question is what correction you're going to get. Now, can this actually drop more here? It can, but then you don't have a sell setup. Right? You really can't just sell this here. You have to wait for it to make a flag here, and then you can assume that it's going to do one more like this, 1, 2, 3, and then go back up, right? So the sell is out. We have to wait for that setup to sell. The buy, you can put an entry above the top. And that is if we assume it's going to make a running flat, otherwise you'll get a break-even trade out of it. Natural gas is going up a little more. Can we start buying this for the bigger upside? Let's see in the daily. Can't buy it there because this is the down move, see? And this is this move just going back against it. It will come back here before they go. And when you're at the top of it, if you buy in the 1 hour, you buy every impulse as the last impulse. So if you get a 1 hour flag, you buy it, you close the trade. But if you start to get a sell setup, it will be worth taking. I think this one here would be a bigger flat, bigger expanding flat, something like this, most likely. US oil, we looked at this already. Only we looked at it here, then we bring it down like that. US oil, we looked at that already. UK oil, same thing, same structure. So I would go with a running flat, most likely forming, a bigger running flat here forming with an entry above the top, or wait for this to come, make a flag and take the flag. You don't have to get it from the top. But if they're going to go down to make a new low, you need a consolidation. Otherwise, you're going to be tagged and dragged right back to the top. PayPal. It's not going anywhere, but if it consolidates long enough here, like this, go for that trade. This could be the low. This might be this weird running flat from that point. Tesla, I hope you're in the buy. You still have one more buy. Go ahead with it. You can still put an entry order for a buy here. If you bought this one and if you bought that one, you can still go for a buy to this level. And it could break out or it could come back down from that point. But the worst case is you'll put an entry to sell there if you're in the buy, right? So which is it going to be? We don't know. Just wait. It could actually break out. You could make an argument for this being a running flat in here. See this piece? And this being 1, 2, 3. And this is literally taking off. This being a contracting flat here. So the buy is a good idea. Amazon. Okay, you consolidate, you buy. Put an entry for a buy. So this could be the low and this would be the contracting flat here. Right, remember there are two choices. Either we go for a running flat or contracting flat, this would come back here. But if they consolidate, the chances are they're going to take off to the upside. US 30? Good, well, it's a running flat. It's confirming because we broke the top. That's not a buy setup, that was the top. But if you bought there, you close the trade, right? If you assume you bought there, if we're looking at this as a running flat and you bought there, you should have bought here. But if you bought there, you close that trade when it come back. Now, if this is the top, we don't have a sell setup. This pullback is deep. Now, can it be that they're making a more complex pattern here for upside? It's possible. Can it be they're dropping? It's possible. We just don't have the sell setup as yet. You have to wait for this to come down some more, make a flag somewhere here, and then this becomes a sell back to the low, right? The buy here, in any case, would be very dangerous if you're trying to buy. And it would be the same for all of them, right? At the top, we broke the tops. This one is, again, you're getting consolidation. If you want to buy, the same thing. The risk is they'll just break the top and then come back here for this flat. So the one you can actually buy would be this. And this one you should buy because this has a different pattern. So if you bought this, I hope you closed it already. By all rules, you should. You can put an entry order above the top again. Repeat the same process. So this has a buy setup to go with. DAX, well, you might be getting a sell here either for a flat or for the drop, but it's a good sell. If it goes higher, ignore it, which means if this goes higher here, ignore it. It'll be a running flat. They'll come here, they'll come down, but it's not going to drop and then they'll go up, right? But if it drops from this level here, it could drop way back to the bottom. So the sell is valid for the next couple hours only. And then Nifty. Okay, Nifty is already in a down move. Let's see. Not really. You don't really have a good flag for a sell. No, it could still be consolidation for upside. So you actually need a good flag for a sell. What would be, let's assume this is all for the running flat. If this is all for the running flat here, this piece, then you need this to start making a flag or a 1 hour flag or something before you sell it. Right? Otherwise, this could still be a consolidation that goes 1 more up and then come. Because it's shorter than this one. So for the buy, you can put an entry order above the top here, above that top there. And if it's a sell, wait for a flag. Take the flag. You get a flag, take the sell setup. So, okay, guys, I think that was it for this, this webinar. I'll close the room so that the recording process, you guys come right back in. I'll be right back in, and then we will look at trade setups again, right? So I'll just close it so it process and everybody come back in. So I'll see you in exactly 2 minutes or less than that.